As a teacher, I started to realize that many of my students, female students, did not go to school because they had their period. And this was very common, and for everybody it was okay. And I had students, 1, 2, 3 students in my class that were pregnant, 13 years old, 14 years old, and nobody really did anything about it. My name is Mariana Sanz de Santa Maria. I am an alumni of Enseña por Colombia, cohort 2018. And I could not sleep knowing that I was teaching students that they didn't know their rights and they could not advocate for their rights. So I decided to invite them for an extracurricular space to talk about all these topics, and I became obsessed. Poderosas is a non-profit organization about comprehensive sexual education for young women and young men in low-income communities, for them to strengthen their power of decision over their bodies, their sexuality, and their life. And we have an innovative and multidisciplinary methodology and curriculum to talk about what nobody talks about: sex, gender, virginity, menstruation, contraceptives, abortion, teenage pregnancies, violence, and gender norms. My first attempt was to talk about menstruation. I said, okay, we're gonna talk about something that is maybe controversial in a very conservative community and a lot of misinformation about it. So I started asking them questions of what they wanted to talk about. And from the questions they had and the answers they gave me, I started creating a curriculum that was tailored for them, for what they wanted to know, and in their language and in their terms. And we created a curriculum that it's basically 4 main areas. Let's talk about myself first. Who am I? How does my body work? How do I live my sexuality? What is sexuality? And talk about menstruation and anatomy and feelings. And then me and the others. Well, how do I have relationships? Love, sex, then me and the world. What is it to have a world of gender diversity? What is it to have some gender disparities? And what is my role in that gender disparity? And then leadership. What do I do with my acquired knowledge? What do I do with the skills I've learned through this process? And how do I replicate it? So these are the four main areas of our curriculum, and the way we do it is sitting in the ground, no shoes, and with a rituality that allows us to feel in a safe space. At the beginning it was 3, then 4, then 5 students, then 10, then 20, then 14, until we couldn't fit in the place where we were meeting, and it became Poderosas, which means powerful in plural and female. Some mothers came to me and they were worried what we were talking about would make them more sexually active, or that they would become then sinners, and that they shouldn't be exploring their body. And what I taught them was, well, if they don't explore their body, somebody else will. And let's hope it's them and not somebody else. And I started to add the mothers and the families to the conversation as well. And this was not only my idea, it was my students' idea. Let's talk with our mothers. They need to learn this because we don't know how to talk about this. So they were part of the meetings and part of the sessions, and that was amazing. We started in Baru with around 40, 50, 60 students. And now we are in around 15 to 16 different municipalities in Colombia. And we've reached more than 2,500 young women, mainly women and some young men. At the beginning, I thought that my role was to be only a teacher of the assigned subjects I had to teach. But being there, being in the community, being in the school, knowing my students and knowing the community, I could see that there was this huge gap that nobody was talking about. That made me feel and understand the need, feel and understand the urgency, that you can read it in newspapers, you can read it in articles, but it is very different when you see it, when it is your students that are pregnant, when it's your students that are victims of sexual abuse. The fellowship made me see it, and also made me connect with other fellows from other communities that saw the same gap and that realized the lack of sexual education condemns our students for poverty. And we have to do something about it.